probably seen cockroaches crawling out of drains, squeezing through tiny cracks, or even staying underwater for a while. How do they manage to survive in such extreme places? To really understand that, we first need to understand their respiratory system. So in this video, we're going to explore the architecture of respiratory system of cockroach, Periplaneta americana. Cockroaches don't have lungs like humans. Instead, they use tracheal system, which is a direct air delivery network that sends oxygen straight to their tissues. So let's explore this tracheal system in bit detail. The tracheal system starts with tiny openings present on cockroach's outer surface, and these tiny openings are called spiracles. But before going further, let's quickly recall the body divisions of a cockroach, starting with head, thorax, and abdomen. Now, as we discuss the spiracles, there are 10 pairs of spiracles on each side of the body. 2 pairs of spiracles are present on thorax, while 8 are on the first 8 abdominal segments. Because all these spiracles are functional, such a system is called holopneustic. And since cockroaches have more than 3 pairs of spiracles, they are described as polypneustic insects. Now let me zoom on one of the spiracle, and I can see a small opening. If I zoom it further, I can see the opening looks like a slit. The edges of this opening are covered with many tiny hair-like structures, and these are called the trichomes. These trichomes act like filters to stop the dust and germs from entering. Each spiracle is surrounded by a tough chitinous ring called periphery. Spiracles basically act like little doors which generally remain closed, but they open only when body needs oxygen. Just like automatic sensor doors that open only when someone needs to enter. Spiracles then closes quickly to prevent water loss or entry of any harmful particles. Once the air passes through a spiracle, it enters into a small chamber called the atrium. From atrium, the air then moves into air-filled tubes, and these tubes are called tracheae. If we see these tracheal tubes from top, it will look like a network of pipes that run throughout the body. You can imagine the entire system like an underground metro network, where the spiracles are the metro stations acting as the point of entry and exit of air, while the trachea are like the main tunnels which are supplying the air to entire body. Now, if we see the tracheae closely, these tracheal tubes are elastic and they are airtight. In fact, they are lined by a delicate membrane called as intima. To prevent the tubes from collapsing, these tracheal tubes have spiral thickenings called the tenidae, which work like springs inside the pipe. At the end of each tracheae lies a special type of cell called tracheole cell. This tracheole cell is also known as a tracheoblast. From these cells arise extremely thin tubes called tracheoles. These tracheoles penetrate deep into tissues, supplying oxygen directly where it is needed. Now let's see how the tracheal system is organized within the body. The network of tracheae is organized based on where the spiracles are located. So, from the thoracic spiracles, many tracheal branches spread forward and some of them extend into the head, and these are called cephalic tracheae, and others spread into wings and legs. From the abdominal spiracles, 3 major tracheal trunks arise. This is how they look from the top. But if we see these trunks from the sideways, They look something like this. The longest of these tracheal trunks is the lateral trunk, which connect the thoracic and the abdominal spiracle. Then there are the dorsal trunks, which run along the back of the body and they carry air to heart, digestive organs and dorsal muscles. Then there are the ventral trunks that run along the underside of the body, supplying the nerve cord and the ventral muscles. All of these mean tubes are connected by small cross connections called commissural tracheae, forming a complete and continuous network of airflow. So, let's quickly recap. Cockroaches use tracheal system for their respiration. Spiracles are the tiny openings present on the lateral surface of cockroach. Trachea are the non-collapsible pipe network that carry air to different parts of the body. Tracheoles penetrate into the tissue. Air enters through spiracles, then travels via tracheae and ends in the tracheoles that supply oxygen to every cell. Because oxygen travels directly to the cells, cockroaches don't need to breathe through their mouth. And that's why cockroaches can survive in drains, tight spaces, and even underwater for a while. They simply close their spiracles and keep breathing internally. So, in the next video, we'll learn about the mechanism of breathing. So stay tuned.